Day 21, 9:38 a.m. in the Big Brother UK All-Stars house. Unfortunately for the chickens, it is not a good day for them so far, as yesterday they slept the entire day, and today when they woke up, their coop is completely filthy, they are filthy, and a lot of the house guests like Nikki, Brian, and Courtney all kind of walk outside and pay them no mind. In fact, Emma actually opts to clean out the grill before she cleans out the coop. Pete is finally the one that goes over there and cleans the coop, and I was actually surprised, like, you see that the chickens are filthy, that they have odor coming off of them, and I wish that there was an action for you to clean them and bathe them, kind of like the petting one is, maybe, I don't know, but I thought that would be nice instead of them just getting miraculously clean after you clean the coop. But at least we have that cleaned thanks to Pete. Emma has the grill cleaned, and we see that Nikki is trying to make the chickens feel a little bit better, except for this brown hen just is not in the mood. Meanwhile, in the bedroom, some of the house guests are slowly making their way out and either into the garden or into the bathroom to get their day started. We see that Rylan and Isabelle are having a little conversation inside. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, a lot of the house guests are just standing at the window and observing what's going on in the garden instead of actually going out there and facing the harsh temperatures themselves. At 11:08 a.m., Big Brother decides to go ahead and call all of the Ministry of Truth members into room 101 to begin their shift for the day. However, they are also calling in Pete. As we saw last night, Pete, as a Ministry of Peace member, is not allowed to go into the bedroom or the living room or the kitchen, and he tried to sleep in the bedroom. I let him for a little bit because I didn't really realize what was going on. And because of that, as punishment, he will be in solitary confinement. However, I've gotten rid of the solitary confinement chambers you saw last time, and so he will be spending that in the diary room. And the 4 Ministry of Truth members will be right next door in room 101 for the rest of the day. Almost 30 minutes later, all of the house guests are fully awake. A lot of them are in the bathroom trying to get ready for the day. One side we have the girls, while on the other we had the boys. Outside at the picnic table, we have Nikki talking to the new BFF duo of New York and Makosi. Hopefully, New York survives the eviction tomorrow night, and this relationship can keep on continuing to grow, and hopefully they also don't start arguing out of nowhere, as that tends to happen between the two of them. However, Makosi, last eviction, lost her almost boyfriend Victor, so let's hope she doesn't lose her almost BFF tomorrow. But again, that's all up to you. It looks as though the chicken is having a bit of a good time listening in on the conversations that are having at the picnic table, while New York is also trying to entertain the white one as well. So I'm glad that after this morning, how rough they were, that they're all taken care of, everything's good to go, clean, and now they're actually getting attention as well. Meanwhile, in room 101, everyone has actually used the bathroom today, and they're all good to go there. However, Nadia is still not in a happy mood. She's been very grumpy the past few days, and I'm not too sure what exactly that's for, if it's from Victor leaving or what it is. I mean, she isn't on the block or anything, but since being on the block last Friday, she just really hasn't recovered. So even after a little bathroom break, she still comes out of there and is still arguing with the 3 other Ministry of Truth members who all seem to be still trying to have a good time. Isabelle over here is playing video games, but she's the only one, except for Pete, who has managed to get out of the diary room and I guess tried to go to room 101. However, that door is locked, so he was just on his phone instead. Outside, Nikki has moved from the picnic table over to the fire pit, where her and Rylan are grilling up some marshmallows. Meanwhile, back in the bathroom, it looks as though Gemma, Brian, and Hellen try to cheer each other up. Hellen looks to be sad, and then I thought Brian maybe was cheering her up. However, he's sad as well. So they're both trying to not, wallow in each other's pity, but it's kind of hard to, especially when all the toilets behind you are broken.
Palachaba Kisabe.
At 2:04 p.m., the bar is completely full. In the kitchen, we have Courtney, Charley, Emma, Cameron, and Gemma even comes to join, snatching up what looked to be Emma's drink and then actually going and sitting at the dining room table by herself to drink it. And what I thought looked like, like sizzly pops to the drink, apparently actually stinks instead, I guess. I don't really know. In room 101, the toilet has been pranked. And I had to check to make sure Davina wasn't the one that got splashed. However, she is just filling up her cup. While Pete is still just sitting in the diary room and it hasn't seemed to faze him so far, even though he's been in there by himself for a couple of hours. Back in the kitchen, Rylan does take a little pass at Courtney, trying to see if he wants to woohoo, and Courtney actually denies him. I did manage to go in and change the two of them in Cameron's sexual orientation. That way, there's no more Cameron and Isabelle hooking up for no reason and everything like that. At least now it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Nikki has gone ahead and rejoined New York and Tiffany. Maybe this is a powerful, I almost said trio we have forming, but of course Makosi does have to get angry, but hopefully it doesn't start any arguments between any of them. Hellen comes out and joins, and Cameron just kind of sits and overlooks the whole conversation, as well as all of the chickens. Wow, I can't stop talking over my words and mumbling. My voice has been so bad this week. I need to do some mouth exercises before I start these videos. Red leather, yellow leather. Surprisingly, in the bathroom, the toilets are actually being worked on. Sadly, for the pranked toilet, that one does have to just be used and someone has to get splashed with it in order for that to be fixed. But Courtney is slowly cleaning the area before fixing on the next toilet. And peep in the bathroom mirror how big the fire is outside. Everyone just keeps adding logs to it and getting it bigger and bigger. It's getting it pretty dangerous. Meanwhile, in the bathroom in room 101, the situation isn't getting too much better as the toilet is pranked and now the sink is broken. So both items in there are pretty much useless, and I'm sure the house guests are going to feel the effects of that here pretty soon. At 5:28 p.m., I go ahead and let Pete out of the diary room. His punishment is now officially over, and he can go ahead and rejoin his ministry of peace members outside in the garden, where he will remain and only have access to the bathroom. No more trying to sleep in the bedroom for the rest of the week, mister. And he actually goes outside and adds another log to the fire, keeps it big and full, and then goes and complains and have some fun with the chickens. I know I saw some comments about naming the chickens or dressing the chickens, and if you guys have any ideas for names, I do have a black hen, a white hen, a brown hen, and then a brown rooster. So if you want to name any suggestions down below, I am more than happy to pick one of those. Out in the garden, we have a bunch of little duos forming, which is kind of fun and interesting to see which ones are with who. At 6:12 p.m., the bathroom in room 101 has gone from being bad to even worse. Thankfully for the house guest in there, Big Brother goes ahead and lets them out for the rest of the day, and a lot of them go ahead and head straight out towards the garden, where a lot of the house guests are actually all gathered. Cameron adds another log to the ever-growing fire, while Davina immediately leaves room 101 to go and sit by the fire. She's feeling a bit sick, or maybe just a bit hot from all the heaters around, but she grills up a hot dog while Charley grills up a marshmallow. Craig immediately leaves room 101 to go ahead and clean. And not only that, but goes ahead and fixes the clothesline for everyone. That way they are able to do some laundry. It's going to, freeze their clothes, maybe take longer to dry. I don't really know. But it's better than not being able to wash anything, since I don't know when the next time they'll have access to the washer and dryers. I don't know when that's going to be. New York is still at the picnic table, having a little one-on-one conversation with Pete. Meanwhile, right behind them, Hellen grills up some corn on the cob. And over towards the bathroom, Nikki, Nadia, and Craig have a conversation. But as soon as Craig joins, Nadia is quick to leave. And this is actually the first interaction between Nikki and Craig in a while. They did woohoo a couple of weeks or episodes ago, I don't really know. And since then, they've been really distant and argumentative. And it hasn't necessarily changed. This is the first conversation they've actually tried to interact with one another. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, all the toilets are officially fixed, and Rylan even gets the clothes and begins washing them. I'm not too sure if the weather affects the cleaning of the clothes at all. I don't know. Someone let me know down below, I guess. But I think realistically it totally would. This wouldn't work out. Maybe if they moved one of the heaters over towards the clothing line, that would help a little bit. We see that the picnic table has become incredibly busy as 8 o'clock hits and all the lights are cut on. I do gotta say I do miss the cool green lighting that we had during the green versus blue task. But I still do love our backyard. And for the people that are asking where it is on the gallery, it isn't posted right now only because I lost an old copy of the house that I was going to post. And the one that I have now has a secret twist that's going to be coming up that I don't want spoiled. But in a couple of weeks, it will be posted, and I'll let you guys know all of that in that video. But of course, you can follow me on Origin, on the gallery, whatever, at Singleton RW, and then you'll be able to get all the latest notifications. Just like how all the house guests were able to get notified that there was a fire going on, of course, that garden fire that they had kept piling bigger and bigger eventually caught one of the cushions on fire that was sitting nearby, and almost New York, but thankfully she was able to put it out. And unluckily for us, I was not able to unlock a vampire from entering. At 9:34 p.m., Cameron goes ahead and gets those clothes that Rylan washed earlier and hangs those up on the clothesline, hoping that they don't freeze overnight. Meanwhile, that big meal that they had going on in the garden has now completely finished, and everyone's pretty much dispersed, leaving just Craig and Brian at the table. And New York and Pete go on and continue their conversation that they have been having all night. In my mind, I'm sure Pete is helping her cope with being on the block. She has been on the block before, so they're both probably just talking that over. Meanwhile, Courtney goes ahead and mops up the water that's on the snow, because that makes perfect sense. And actually, Pete, he really loves these chickens, and I mean, he loved doing the chores when he was part of Ministry of Plenty. So now that he's Ministry of Peace and is in charge of these chickens, he is taking it pretty seriously, and he goes ahead and calls in the brown hen inside. That way she's out of the cold and warm inside. All of the rest of them are asleep. He wants to make sure that she gets just the same amount of sleep as the rest of them do. Nadia actually is in the kitchen cleaning up a lot of the mess that was left outside from the dinner that they had. Meanwhile, the cushion is still not fixed outside by the fire, and the fire pit's a bit toasted as well. Nikki doesn't seem to mind, though, as she is still trying to collect warmth from the embers that are still there. Emma is getting warmth in another way by doing some sit-ups in the living room, while in the bathroom, Cameron and Isabelle chat while Courtney continues cleaning and fixing up all of the toilets and the sinks. Davina is the first to head to bed. I almost said head to bed in the bedroom, but of course that's where she would be. Whatever. And in the garden, we see that Gemma and Charley are having a little bit of a conversation while Gemma eats. And Hellen is in the hot tub while both of her and Brian freak out about Charley being there. Again, I haven't been able to figure out why they act like she's a celebrity. Hellen looks completely exhausted, and hopefully this hot tub helps her out a little bit, feel a little bit rejuvenated or calm, or maybe this will relax her and then she'll have an even better night's sleep. I'm not too sure, but Big Brother goes ahead and turns off the lights in the bedroom. And I actually had a complete brain fart earlier, and this just made me realize it. Okay, so if I had mentioned Pete sleeping in the bedroom earlier and you were like, what? That's because it didn't happen yet. And then I was like, well, then why was I punishing him? Oh, right. I was punishing him because it was actually my fault because I had let him buy immunity before letting him spend his big bucks on voting. So he was being punished for that. But now that he's doing this, I'm realizing I'm going to have to punish him again tomorrow. So not only am I being a bad boy by messing up the explanation of that, I'm not going back to fix it in this video. So the beginning of this is just going to be a bit of a mystery, and you're going to have to wait to get this far into it to figure out what the hell I'm actually talking about. And Big Brother's being a bad boy for messing up everything. Just everything is going a bit wrong this week. The double eviction is definitely getting it a bit hectic. And it sucks because in the bathroom, while all the toilets have gotten fixed, now the sinks are broken. And this is actually where I realized while I was playing the game that Pete wasn't outside, because I was like, wow, just Hellen and Nikki are outside. Oh yeah, Pete's naked inside. So I kicked him out. I'm going to have to punish him again tomorrow. Whew, this is messy. I don't know what I am up to, but thank God a lot of the responsibility is in your guys' hands, as it's up to you to save your favorite, and one of them will be going home tomorrow. Who's it going to be? Tiffany New York Pollard? Charley? Why can't I say that all of a sudden? Blah, blah, blah. Or Courtney Act? Comment down below as many times as you want to save your favorite, and stay tuned tomorrow to see which one of them goes home. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff down below, and follow me on Twitter to vote and all the latest updates. Bye.